Hi everyone and welcome to $1 Million App Ideas. I'm Pietro Messineo, I'm an indie dev and I successfully exited some apps in the past. And that's why I feel comfortable today in giving you some suggestions or even some recommendations on how you can enlarge your app portfolio. And why not, maybe even make some millions out of it. So in this new format, I'm going to unveil 3 app ideas every week. And so for each app, we're going to see what is the app about, the revenues of the last 3 months, how many downloads it gets, how complicated it is to make such an app, and last but not least, the potential price when you will sell this application. So let's see the app of today. It's a disposable camera. What is a disposable camera? Basically, it's a sort of application that is being used for private events, and you will be able to, scanning a QR code, to access to this basically photo bucket which is shared, and so all the people that will take pictures once they are linked through this QR code, they will be able to store directly into this shared bucket. So imagine you are at a wedding, like it happened to me last weekend, and basically there was a QR code on the table, or there would eventually be a QR code on the table. You can scan this QR code, start taking pictures, and then the newly couple will be able to have all the pictures into a storage bucket, so they will not have to ask you, hey, can you send us the pictures that you did during our wedding and stuff like that. I think this application is very useful in case of weddings or even for small private events like company events, team building and stuff like that. So, in your opinion, how much money this app made in the last 3 months? Well, you would be surprised to know that it made $388,000. And actually, I'm pretty sure if we will monitor it in time, next in the upcoming 2 or 3 months, they will even get more money. Why? Because I guess it's a very seasonal app, which means that people are gonna have wedding in June, July, August, and so the revenues will increase. So how many downloads it get? 290,000 downloads. So it means that 290,000 people downloaded this app, which is very interesting because apparently while I was testing it, this app doesn't actually need to be downloaded if guest wants to use it, because it uses app clips. Insane, right? And so how complicated is to make such an app? Surprise, surprise, I gave a 6 out of 10. Yes, that's true. Usually you are used to see 3 out of 10, which is the average, let's say, score that I give to those apps that I'm reviewing. But this one is a little bit more complex, and we will see very soon why. So what could be the actual selling price in case the developers of this application would like to sell it? Well, you will be surprised to know that the potential worth of this app is 4.6 million. Why? Because basically this app made $388,000 in the last quarter, which means that if we multiply by 4, we obtain the yearly revenues, which are roughly $1.5 million. And so if we apply a basic multiplier of 3 times the yearly revenues, because usually the multiplier range between 3 times and 10 times the yearly revenues when you want to sell an app, you will obtain $4.6 million. So the net worth of this application is $4.6 million, roughly. And so let's go back to how we can make such an app and why I gave a 6 out of 10. Well, as I said, it's a little bit more complex, and so you have many possibilities on how you can build such an app. Let's see the first one. You can use Firebase and Firebase storage. What does it mean? You can use Firebase in order to store the the actual list of users which registered to your app and created the room, or let's say the shared folder where then all the pictures are gonna stay. But you actually need to have a way to store the pictures that customers or users or guests are uploading into your bucket. And so you have to use Firebase storage. So that's one of the options. But honestly, I don't like this option. I like it only in case I'm not capable of building my own solution. If I'm able to build my own solution, I will go with AWS and the AWS buckets, which are much way cheaper, but this requires to have your own backend. So what I would eventually do is rent a VPS for $7 a month where I can build my own endpoint. I will then use MongoDB as a database for store all the people that are registering and creating buckets, so I have a reference. And so once people will scan my QR code, they will basically upload the pictures to my AWS bucket. And once the AWS bucket will give me back the URL link of the uploaded picture, I will send an API request to my own backend that will then upload this information to my MongoDB database, basically, MongoDB, and will save all of this information into the database. So I think it's very easy. There are like 2, 3 maybe endpoints, or maybe 4 endpoints in total to be created, but it's cheaper than using Firebase on the long run. And so how these apps monetize, or how are they getting money, how they managed to get 388,000 in the last 3 months? You will be surprised to know that they have only one-time payment, which basically means you pay per usage, per group of people. The pricing basically varies between $4.99 and $89.99 if you have up to 250 people. If you want that more than 250 people will use the bucket, your shared bucket, then you have to contact them and ask for a custom pricing. They don't have any fancy in-app purchase screen or whatever. There is just a bar where you select how many people you want that will be able to use the QR code in order to upload the things, and it will immediately show you the pricing. And so as usual, the question that you're asking me is always the same. How can I get my first 1,000 of downloads? And surprise, surprise, the answer is the same. You can try to cooperate with an Instagram influencer, TikTok, Twitter, or whatever, like I do. Or you could do some cold mailing to some blogs. If, of course, you are able to, just do even some ASO improvements, so you can try to be on top of your niche. And if you have some extra budget that you want to spend, don't forget to invest them in Apple Search Ads. The app that we were analyzing today is called POV, Disposable Camera Events, and actually was recommended and suggested by you guys, because in a tweet that I was posting during the weekend, you were mentioning that an app that was I was basically looking for an app, or I had an idea of an app that would eventually serve like a bucket where people could do exactly what I was just explaining you in this video. And you told me that it's already existing, and so why to reinvent the wheel and blah blah blah. Actually, it's not about reinventing the wheel as usual. It's about improving an existing product, and if it's simple, take a piece of the market. And so, yeah, here we go. You like the POV application, you think it's one of the best, and that's why I brought it to you, and I told you all the insights about it. So, I hope that this application was interesting to you, and that wraps up our app idea for today. So, as usual, little disclaimer, all the data that you saw here related to revenues, download trends, should be considered as estimates because they are coming from public data tools, which means that, again, the numbers may not be accurate, even though in the past few weeks, in my experience, those numbers are very much accurate. So do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course, subscribe to the Discord community, and why not, maybe even follow me on Twitter. Let me know in the comments if the audio is better for you, because I actually purchased a new microphone. So surprise, surprise, I'm gonna improve my setup. Thank you very much for your comments, and of course I'm reading all of them and I try to answer to all of you. Thank you very much, and see you at the next video.